Good morning and welcome to the Shortcuts Ask Me Anything. While we are waiting for everyone to join, I'm going to introduce a little bit the shortcut and our event today. Thank you for joining us this morning. So the shortcut, for those who don't know, we are a non-profit organization that belongs to the Startup Foundation. We're physically located here at Maria 01 in Helsinki, and our focus is to help people in Finland with career transformation. Mainly our community is English speaking. This is why our events are in English. And in these events, we try to educate our audience with the skills that can help them with either finding a job or developing their business. So today's topic, I think, is related to both of these. So hope that you will get to ask many questions about this topic to our speaker today. So our speaker today is Roman Pikalenko. Welcome, Roman. Roman is a junior growth marketer at Recright, but I think that many of you may know him from LinkedIn because for a while now he's been enthusiast in personal branding on LinkedIn, and he is helping like-minded people to build their brand. Very happy to have you here, Roman, and just like quick housekeeping rules. So this is Ask Me Anything. So the idea is that you ask your questions and we are going to put them here on the screen. Roman is going to answer them. So please introduce yourself in the chat, like where are you from, what is your question, or just networking. And I will start with a couple of questions of my own and then take yours as they appear. But without further ado, hello, Roman. Nice to have you here. Thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Hello, Kate. Thanks a lot for having me here. Thanks a lot for organizing this event and, well, inviting me in the first place. Hi, everyone who's listening. My name is Roman Pikalenko. I am originally from Moscow, Russia. I came to Finland over 5 years ago as a student. I did my bachelor's in Vasa. And for the longest time, I was laid off / unemployed. I had a business degree, and at the end of it, I was really struggling to find a job in my field. I also didn't know what my field would be. I eventually landed in marketing, but I worked as a waiter here. I've worked as a bartender here. I've worked as a delivery guy here, and after a year and a half of learning journey and struggles of getting the real marketing job, I landed this awesome opportunity at Recright. I think it's soon to be 1 year of my employment there. And I've lived in Germany for 10 months. I have a cat. I don't know. I don't know what else you want to know, but how I got into personal branding and LinkedIn specifically, to your surprise, probably, it has nothing to do with my job or my studies whatsoever. Somehow the stars have aligned, and I met this person at the beginning of my current employment who ended up being a friend of my colleague. Uh, she just saw me on LinkedIn or something like that. I wasn't even posting. And we decided to have a chat, get to know each other because we had a mutual friend. And she introduced me to the whole personal branding, what it is, the concept of it, and how LinkedIn scene is changing. And I got interested, and I didn't start posting at all. I was just curious, like, what is this? Started becoming more active on LinkedIn in terms of just scrolling through my feed, seeing what's it like. And the peculiar thing which I love about LinkedIn is you get to see the content that your connections are interacting with. So unlike Instagram, although they're rolling out this feature now, you don't see just your connection stuff. You also see external content. So I started seeing what she likes, what she comments on, and those people were very interesting. So I connected with them, talked to them, and then I started seeing things that they like and comment on. And it snowballed eventually to the point where I decided to start posting myself. And here I am.
Very exciting, and I think this is how the best things normally happen. You just stumble into them. But I have been watching your journey for a while. I think it's pretty impressive. You post every day. You post like tips and content, and also like personal, some personal thoughts. So this is really interesting. So from your perspective, how can like for our audience, from your perspective, how can having a personal brand on LinkedIn, having a strong one, help you either get a job or grow your business? Because we have like two types of people in the audience. So maybe if you could like elaborate how it helps with job
Yeah.
seeking, and then a little bit with growing business.
Yeah. Well, one thing to remember, I cannot personally advocate for either one of those because I have not gotten the job thanks to LinkedIn, or haven't grown any business yet thanks to LinkedIn. But I have witnessed a lot of growth from my other networks. And if you're a job seeker and you have an active personal brand, it's the same as everyone else, but you're putting yourself out there. You're putting yourself out there online. You're trying to share some expertise, some insights. You build the presence. And why it's so different, even though it maybe sounds basic, is because only 3% of LinkedIn users, and it's almost 900 million users, I think, only 3% post at least once a week. Only 3%. Everyone else either just exists on LinkedIn or they consume content. So you have a massive window of opportunity to just start being out there, and you don't even have to be an expert to post about whatever you like. If you want to work as a social media marketer, read blogs about social media marketing, share your learnings, share your thoughts. Now, if you're a business, this is a great way for you to generate inbound leads and brand awareness for your brand. Uh, there is everything from employer branding, showing what it's like working in your company, to again sharing expertise level content, uh, proving that you can get the certain job done, and people on LinkedIn will see it. It's the same for both cases. There's always this one person or many that consume your content for a very long time. It's a big problem in inbound marketing. It's part of the dark funnel. Um, these people, they're called lurkers. They can engage with your content for months, but they don't like, they don't comment, they don't do anything. But then all of a sudden they show up in your DMs or in your connection requests, and they're like, "Hey, we love your content. We would like to work with you," or "We love your content, and we're currently hiring. Would you be interested?" I have not personally experienced that, but I have a ton of people that have in my network. I can personally vouch for this is being real.
Yes, actually, we already have questions rolling in, so I will put one on screen. So Angels is our actually she's part of our digital marketing program. So very happy that our program participants are watching. She's asking, besides LinkedIn for personal branding as a content creator, what would you say is the platform to be?
I think it depends on your audience. If your audience is primarily Gen Z, although now it's not restricted to Gen Z at all, TikTok could be the ideal platform for you. Otherwise, I would suggest Twitter. Uh, in my personal opinion, it's either three of those: LinkedIn number one, then TikTok, then Twitter. TikTok being second is because it's similarly to LinkedIn. It's got very good organic reach. You don't need to pay for views. And Twitter is just, I guess, third natural platform. There are a lot of big creators from LinkedIn that I know that are branching out to Twitter. And you can reuse content from one platform to another. So they work great together.
Thank you very much for question, Angels. But back to LinkedIn. So if one wants to say get started to post more regularly on LinkedIn, because I think I'm also in this category that I had LinkedIn for maybe 7 years before I posted my first post. So if you want to get started, like what do you start with? How to even understand what to start from? If maybe you are not ready to go with like first super well curated post or whatever, how do you get started?
Well, I also had my LinkedIn profile for a very long time before I started posting. I created it as part of some university course. Haven't really used it. But if you're completely new to LinkedIn and you don't know what the whole content creation on LinkedIn is or personal branding, the best thing you can do is find people in the fields of interest, of your own interests, that are already posting on LinkedIn actively and stalk them. But not like on Instagram. You can go one step further and send them a connection request. And by the way, when you do that, always add a note. Personalize your connection requests. You're gonna get them accepted, and people are gonna love it because there's even less percentage of people that personalize their requests, and when you have hundreds of them, you really stand out. Just a side note. But yeah, I always say consume content to create content. So it's okay to be a lurker. Just read 5 to 10 people that you pick, read their content regularly, get the idea of what they post about, how they post about it. And as I said, you can connect, reach out, and ask them, do they have any tips? And then eventually you'll get the courage to post yourself. That's the safest
Sound,
option. Yeah.
sounds yeah, sounds very good. And I think that like for me was, for example, being like generally enthusiastic about some things. I was like, okay, about this I really want to say something myself, not just like repost or comment. Yeah. Let's look into more questions. So Anna is our career coach here at the Shortcut.
Mm.
Anna is watching us from Hungary. Anna is asking, for growing on LinkedIn, would you say 5 times per week is necessary?
For growing fast on LinkedIn, I would say yes. You don't have to post regularly to grow on LinkedIn. A very weird thing to say, maybe. But as I said, if you engage with other people's content, likes and comments, they contribute to your whole growth, because comments, by commenting on other people's posts, you put yourself out there as well, especially if you do it timely right after someone makes a post. Your comment might end up in the most relevant. It's going to be one of the first comments that people see, and that's how your following can grow. I once got like 100 followers from one comment alone on some big influencers post. But to answer your question, you don't have to. You, if you want to grow fast, then yes, at least 5 times a week. That will be my suggestion.
Mhm. Uh,
And one thing to always remember: start where you are comfortable. If you want to grow really fast, and you think you need to commit to 5 to 7 times a week, that's good, but you need to be mindful of your own capacity, because if it affects your mental health or you get stressed out, and, the inner pressure of I have to post, that's going to be less helpful, even harmful. So start where you're comfortable. You can get eventually to posting 5 times a week.
a very good tip, and I think it is important to be like mindful of your mental health with content creation. Thank you, Anna, for the question. And then I have more questions from Angel. So I'm going to show, like there are short ones, so I'm going to show one by one. So this is again about other platforms. What about Medium? And then I've heard it's better than Twitter for writing purposes. So this is like 2 questions about Medium, I guess.
I would say those two platforms are rather different. Medium is not a social media platform; it's a blogging platform. It's a better alternative to LinkedIn articles, I would say. If you decide to use both Medium and Twitter, you're probably winning already compared to people that use just Twitter, for the simple reason that with Medium, very long form content, your blog posts, right? And long form content can always be redistributed and repurposed to other social media platforms. Uh, if you take one blog post from Medium, I can only imagine there is at least 20 different tweets that can come out of it.
Sounds very interesting.
Don't know if I
So
answered the question.
yeah, I think it's like less of a question about LinkedIn again, but let's get back to LinkedIn related questions. So there's no name here, but the question is, how do you stay consistent in your LinkedIn presence? Any tips on how to organize your posts and general presence online?
That's a tough one because starting on LinkedIn is difficult, but staying consistent is even more difficult. And I can give a lot of examples of people that get really enthusiastic at the beginning. They made initial few posts and then life got in the way. I will say, same as I said before, start where you feel comfortable because it's very easy to lose your focus and completely stop. I mean, you're not a robot, right? Life does get in the way and something might happen. So you will feel mentally more pressured if you started with 5 times a week and then something happened, you had to take a break, and now you feel like you have to get back to 5 times a week rather than if you initially committed to twice a week. So, how to stay consistent? Start where you're comfortable. And second, leverage your community because you should be connecting with people, like-minded people that engage with your content and you engage with theirs. Talk to them, get to know each other. The way my consistency has been, well, consistent, is largely thanks to my community. There are a lot of days when I feel completely discouraged or uninspired to post, even though I have notes full of ideas. And all it takes for me sometimes is to just scroll through my feed. And I have a bunch of brilliant people in my network that, well, post great stuff that I love for a reason. And it just inspires me to suddenly want to post. So um, start where you're comfortable, connect with the relevant people, and leverage those relationships. And for the people who are very um, perfectionists, I would say, try batch creating your content. So my problem initially has always been just the YOLO approach. I improvise on the go a lot of my posts. Now I'm implementing more batch creating of my posts in advance. So 5, 7 posts I create at once. I know this following week I'm going to be posting about that for sure, and it's like full blown drafts. It's not just ideas. So if you're in that category, batch creation will help you for sure. You are muted.
Yeah, sorry, started with muted mic. So this is a very good tip, and I think this like a little bit keeping a schedule. It's a little bit like social media calendar in a way.
Yeah.
For those who know what it is. So then I would like to dive a little bit deeper into this. So apart from building your brand on LinkedIn per se, which is very beneficial as we already understood, what skills can you build through posting and regularly maintaining your personal brand? So what can you gain from this apart from following?
Well, number one direct skill is copywriting skills. I mean, you're writing on LinkedIn, unless you're posting just videos, which I don't really see in my network. It's copywriting. Creative copywriting can go a long way, especially if you work in marketing. You probably know the power of copywriting quite a lot. Even if you're not in marketing, uh, anything from emails to sales decks and wherever, it involves copywriting. Your communication skills will improve significantly because you talk to people, you respond to people, and eventually, the more you grow, you whether you want it or not, you're gonna have a small community of like-minded people. You're gonna start noticing same people engaging with your posts all the time, and trust me, once you see them, you should reach out to them, get to know each other. Your community starts forming. And that's where community management skills come in. And that's besides all the content creation skills. If you decide to go with creating visuals or videos, I mean, eventually, if you decide to grow a business out of it, if you're an individual, you will get into lead capture or demand generation, lead generation. At some point, maybe you'll want to have, I don't know, your own guide, your own course, your own podcast that you want to start growing thanks to a personal brand. So it can really explode in many different directions.
Sounds very good, and I think that this is a little bit of a creative process, also in a way that you never know where it brings you in the end.
Yeah,
So it's like trust the journey in a way.
yeah, exactly.
We have more questions from the chat. Marcos is asking, does the SEO strategies apply to the posts on LinkedIn? I mean, will it appear on Google search if the SEO was well done? Congrats, Roman, and
Um,
morning, Ekaterina.
I am not entirely sure how SEO strategies apply to posts on LinkedIn. To my understanding, they don't really, because it's such a short form content type. Where you do want to have your SEO strategies applied more or less is your LinkedIn profile, because your LinkedIn profile serves as a landing page, and any landing page that you want to rank in the first page, you want it to be SEO optimized. And second, I would say if you do decide to go with LinkedIn articles, they work same as blog posts. A lot of times when I Google something LinkedIn related, LinkedIn articles pop up, not LinkedIn posts. So I would say don't think about it too much when it comes to posts. And good morning, Marcus.
Yes, Marcos is from Awesome Marketers community, so very cool to see him
We know
here.
each other.
I have a question of my own, a little bit prepared before. This is something I wanted to ask for a while, so going to use this time to ask it. So I noticed that posts that are personal or putting yourself like in a little bit vulnerable way are
Hmm.
like very well reacted to in LinkedIn.
Yep.
However, there's a lot of argument about it. Like LinkedIn is a professional network. You shouldn't be posting like your personal opinions on it. Like there's like a little bit of controversy
Hmm.
around it because these posts I see them doing well, but at the same time there's like a kind of a mixed feeling about it.
Yeah.
What is your stand on this, and do you advise to post with personal
It,
opinions on LinkedIn?
it's called personal branding for a reason. Uh, Personal, not company branding, or not Android branding. We're humans, and even in B2B, business to business, it's at the end of the day, it's human to human. People buy from people. So I personally, I know about some corporate jack or whatever. I personally like knowing what's going on behind the person's posts. You know, I've seen people posting about their babies born or adopting new puppy as a milestone in their life. In my opinion, it's completely normal because it's a case for celebration. You want to share it with your network. You know that you have great people in there that will support you and appreciate this kind of content. I think the question you should be asking yourself is that the only thing this person is posting about? Because
Mm,
you can post about your vulnerable parts. I mean, I saw posts about tampons and periods, and they're hella relatable, and they're relevant. But that's not the only thing they post about. You know, they have majority of their core content about marketing or whatever they work in or specialize in, and sometimes they want to open up about what's going on behind the scenes, because even the most successful business owner, uh, most of the times you don't know it, but they're struggling. Anxiety, self doubt, comparison trap, all kinds of nasty things that you experience before posting at the beginning of your journey. Everyone experiences still. It doesn't go away. You just kind of
mm,
learn to deal with it more or less. And there's always going to be days when you feel down, when things are out of hand. And it's only natural to show that part, because it's like, that's the problem with social media, as many people would say. They only show us the best, the strongest, the prettiest parts of their successes. But to be honest, behind every success there are so many failures, and this is what makes LinkedIn a very empathetic, real platform. People share those failures, and it's completely okay. Just make sure it's not 100% of your content. I do like seeing puppies. I do like seeing puppies. Just make sure it's not all of your content.
True, true. This sounds very relatable, actually, and I think you should know the person behind the post a little bit. Like, for example, I because I follow Roman quite a long time, I sometimes even hear like some news or some new platform that is working, not from news but from your posts. So that's actually a really interesting kind of following the journey. I wanted to ask, now that we don't have more questions in the chat at the moment, also wanted to ask another question from myself. So I remember that there's like a formula about how much content you create should be, is it like, how much content should be like giving, and how much should be like, if you're, let's say, in sales, how much should be like attracting to a company? There's like a number for it, right?
Yeah, it's a 80-20% rule. 80% you provide value, so you talk about the area of expertise. Let's just say you're a salesperson, you really want to get those leads, you really want to get those demo calls booked. Get it. But if your area of expertise is to be sales, for example, or you want to talk about mental health, that's a very relatable and relevant topic. Talk about that 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time talk about your company, talk about what you can offer. If you can do it in a creative way and not cold email style, that's even better. So, for example, if you decide to post 5 times a week, one post a week about the company or your offering is enough, and it doesn't even need to perform all that well compared to your original content, because it's out there. You put exposure on your company or your business. So 20% maximum.
So this is like rule of thumb then. Yeah, I think we are soon running out of time. I will maybe try to ask last question from my part, and let's see if someone else pops up a question. So if you would like, if you could give like one tip about what you have learned in, I don't know, is it like 1 year you're posting on LinkedIn regularly now?
I started in June, so not yet, but yeah.
Yeah, soon to be 1 year. So what if there's like one main lesson that you have learned in this year, what would it be?
It's hard, but it's also fun if you have connected with the right people. Maybe it sounds wrong, but my target audience is young marketers or young professionals. So I've naturally managed to connect with a lot of young professionals. Somehow, majority of them are from the UK. I don't know how it happens, but I have a lot of Brits in my network, and I love them. Like, I connected to them. I know them personally at this point quite a bit. So it can be hard, but it should be fun. And all of that should be as a result of your community. The way I do it, for example, I organize from the beginning. I started organizing pandemic networking chats, which is virtual coffee chats where I literally invite anyone who wants for 30 minutes. We talk off LinkedIn, no agenda, no nothing, just get to know each other. And really makes you stand out, first of all. And second of all, you get to know the person. Next time you see a post from JC, we already talked, we had a conversation, we have these things in common, and you just continue building those relationships. Because even if you compare your followers or connections compared to Instagram, for example, when you grow something on Instagram, everyone in your network is followers. In LinkedIn, they're connections, two different terms. Even though eventually on LinkedIn you can turn on the creator mode and they do turn into followers, the core of it is connections. It's called connections for reasons, because you build them. You should, at least. So yeah.
Yeah, one last question from the chat, real quick. So Angela is asking, I've seen people having video on their profile pic and even people recording audio to show how to pronounce their name right. And also it's a smart way to introduce themselves. What do you think about that?
I think I should have done it a long time ago. I still can't get myself to do it. I think you should do it. The introduction video, it's a 30-second video that you can use once you turn on the creator mode. It's a great way to introduce yourself because it pops right there on your profile. And the audio, how to pronounce your name, is a good way to eliminate bias or any misinterpretation. There are a lot of people with names that might be hard for you to pronounce. I struggle with it, and I always apologize in advance. I hope I did not butcher your name. So if they have the audio intro, it really helps me. So if you can use it, use it. It's only gonna help.
Yes. Thank you so much. We're out of time. I think this was very interesting to hear your answers. If you want more of Roman, please follow him on LinkedIn, Roman Pikalenko. So this
Always send
yeah.
a personalized connection request if you're not connected with me. I don't usually accept without notes.
Yeah, true that. And then Roman can answer more of your questions there.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for watching today, and see you in the next events. And have a nice day. Goodbye.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.